did not celebrate Mother's Day growing up, but one year, I think I was 13 or 14, I decided to surprise Mom with a Mother's Day cake. And at the time, because we were not used to having decorated cakes and stuff, I thought it was a very beautiful, complicated, nicely decorated cake. Today I'm going to recreate that because it is very simple. Now I just used our most basic cake recipe, the Yellow Starlight cake. You use some flour, you mix all your dry ingredients together first, then you add sugar. And I'm using raw sugar. White sugar works too, but I like it better with raw. We're going to add our baking powder, and it takes quite a bit of baking powder. I know this recipe by heart because we made this cake at least once a week my whole life growing up. Add some salt, and we're just going to stir those dry ingredients together a little bit until they're mixed. And into those dry ingredients, we're going to add some softened butter. I like to just cream that in a little bit. You don't want to cream it in too much, and you're going to add your flavoring. You can add whatever flavoring you want. I'm going to do half vanilla and half almond because that makes for a really good flavored cake. Right after our flavoring, we're going to add our milk, and if you want softer cake, just use buttermilk instead. Now we're going to beat that together. Make sure you beat out all of the lumps. Once you have that all beat together, and it's going to be pretty stiff, we're going to add 3 eggs to that. Just add them whole, don't beat them up. Then we're going to beat those eggs in. It will take a little bit, and you want to make sure you beat it really well. And whenever we made this cake at home, we usually just baked it in a 9x13 cake pan and then frosted it with caramel frosting. And the reason we made this so much more often than chocolate cake is because Dad didn't like chocolate. Have it all beat up. Now you have a beautiful cake batter. It's nice and fluffy, and you only use 8 of the most basic items in your pantry. I'm going to equally separate it between 2 springform pans. And when I made this when I was 13 or 14, I did not use springform pans because I had no idea what a springform pan was. I think I just used a round cake pan or maybe a pie pan and then trimmed the edges off. Make sure you spread it out evenly so it rises evenly. And now we just stick it in the oven to bake it quick. And I clearly remember using strawberry filling in the middle of that cake because strawberries were in season then. So we're gonna make some strawberry filling. I didn't have any fresh ones in the house, so I just took some frozen ones and boiled them with some water. I'm gonna add sugar to that. And I'm also not using a recipe for this. I did not use a recipe when I made it when I was a kid either. You just want to mash those strawberries up a little bit so they're a little finer because I just chunked mine to freeze them. Now I need some thickener, so I'm just going to add some PermaFlow in there. I'm not even going to bother making a paste. Let's just hope it turns out good. Just stir that in, and I'm going to take this to the stove and boil it until it turns thick. That didn't take long. The filling is done. I'm going to let it cool off while the cake finishes baking. These just came out of the oven. They look beautiful. They actually look identical. I'm going to let them cool off a bit, and I don't know if they'll settle down or not. I remember growing up, it always came up a little in the middle. My cakes have completely cooled off now. I'm going to take them out of the pan, and I cut the edges loose so they don't stick to the pan. And I had put a piece of parchment paper on the bottom so it comes off easier, so that's handy. And you can see the top is a little dome, so I'm going to have to cut it off to make it a little more flat. This is how it looks on the bottom. It smells delicious. I'm just going to use this bread knife and cut the top off a little. Now when I made that cake, I wanted to be a little creative, and I wanted to write Mom on the top, but I didn't want to just do M-O-M. So I made the O a heart, and I wanted it to be a red heart, so we're going to cut a heart into this cake. I don't have a cookie cutter. I didn't have one then either, so we're just going to freehand it. This is what it looks like. I think I did pretty good. Now it's time to put it on layers, and this is of course the top layer. Now for the bottom layer, I'm going to put some frosting down first. I just made cream cheese frosting because that's what I made back then too. Then I'm going to take that strawberry filling that I made and spread most of it in the middle of the cake. I'm going to keep some of it back. Now we just put our top layer on. This does not take long at all. It's looking exactly like it did many years ago. We're going to put our frosting on there because we need to frost it, and I'm not going to do a crumb coat because back then I didn't know what a crumb coat was and I did not put one on. Not putting a crumb coat on here is seriously going against my grain, but I'm going to put some of the cream cheese icing in that heart too. I have it all frosted now, so I'm going to finish filling that hole up with this rest of this strawberry filling. Now for the M's, I'm going to need pink frosting, and when I made it last time I used strawberry cello because we didn't have any red food coloring, but this time I'm going to go right to the source, and I'm just going to use a drop or so of red food coloring to make my frosting pink. And when I made it back then, I didn't even know what a piping bag was, so of course I didn't have one. I'm guessing I used a sandwich bag, just used the corner, but this time I'm using a piping bag. Now we just put an M on either side of the heart there. Well, I did it. It looks kind of like it did many years ago, which is what I was going for. I think the only thing that's different is that it's more smooth around the edges, and that's because because I have one of these spinny things that I did not have when I was making the cake back then. And when I made it, I did not add any other decorations. So this is just how it looks. So now we're going to cut a piece out of this and see if it's any good. I hope it is. It should be the way it smells. This is what it looks like. I'm hoping it tastes kind of like strawberry cheesecake. Let's take this bite and see if it's any good. That is delicious. That almond flavoring that I put in the cake is so good with the strawberry and cream cheese. Oh man. So happy Mother's Day, and if you guys want a discount on my Amish cookbook, you can use the code MOTHER, MOTHER, for a 20% discount today and tomorrow until midnight. And that Amish cookbook is on my website, socialsbylavina.com, which you can find on my profile or in the caption, or you can just type that into your browser. Enjoy!